Well, good day to you out there in Derby land. Welcome to the Big O. If you are just joining us, we are about to witness the I-5 Roller Girls taking on the Rosebuds from Rose City, and we are going to get immediately into the rosters for this bout. King.
Yeah, we are going to be playing the I-5 Roller Girls against Rose City Rosebuds. The I-5 Roller Girls team consists of number 16, T-Pain, 18, L'Accelerator, 21, Phoebe Sting, 25, Serrated Blade, 26, Maya Massacre, 29, Barbie Brutal, 3, Lexi and I Know It, 31, Evil Mac and Evil, 4, Malice in Wonderland, 5, Keel Bond, 52, Death by Beth, 55, Karmic Death, 9, Audrey Headburn, and 91, Destroyer.
And real quick, the roster this morning for the Rosebuds: number 0, Slamnesia; number 17, Jesus Feist; 241 is Painbow Fright; 33, Bad Advice; 423, Fatality; 50, Bratmobile; 531, Little Bunny Bruise You; number 6, Smacky Kennedy; 711, Wendy Go Killums; 76, King Doom Hearts; 80 is Tempest Fugit; 89, Big Mac; 96, Pain Forest; and 97, Root of All Evil. Rosebuds coached by Effie Stoneham and Feliz Brutality. On the jam line for the Rosebuds, Jesus Feist.
And number 18, L'Accelerator out there for the I-5 Roller Girls.
We are underway. Jesus Feist trying to attack the pack through the middle.
And it was almost a photo finish. L'Accelerator got out first, but hot on her tail is Jesus Feist.
I-5 Roller Girls 4-wall set up in the back. That forces L'Accelerator to call off the jam. No score to start.
Yeah, she wouldn't lose any points on that. Ain't no reason to start this game in the hole to get it started.
And an official timeout.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Looks like we are updating the scoreboard time, which didn't start in the first jam if you were paying attention at home.
Well, since nothing really happened all that much out on the track, they thought, well, let's not run any clock off.
The Derby version of a mulligan?
Something like that.
All right, so the appropriate 25 seconds have been taken off the period clock.
Painbow Fright, she's got the star on her helmet. She's the captain of the Rosebuds out there. And I believe that is Destroyer, number 91, with the star on her helmet for I-5 Roller Girls.
Bad Advice trying to anchor the wall in front for the Rosebuds. I-5 lead jammer.
Destroyer, yeah, she jumped right out there. She got that lead jammer. Pain Forest, she took a tumble in turn number 1. She's breached the pack, but she's got some room to make up.
Painbow Fright coming around, hitting the back wall, a back block penalty. Power jam Rosebuds.
Yeah, Pain Forest came into turn number 4. She got taken out on the inside line. A little penalty being called. She found another hole on that inside, and she picks up 5 easy points for the Rosebuds.
So Painbow Fright putting the first points on the Rosebuds side of the scoreboard, looking for more. Pushed out by number 52, Death by Beth.
And they're going to play some nice passive offense. They know that jammer's standing. They're looking over their shoulder, just waiting for her to come out of that box.
Jammer exits the penalty box. Painbow Fright looking to attack the pack on another scoring pass. Gets by Death by Beth for a 4-point
Destroyer came out and destroyed that wall they had lined up there. She picked up 4 points on that pass. She came in there, did the exact same thing. She has a real keen eye to find that hole and get through it.
Well, and she slips right through there. She goes almost sideways as she did on that last scoring pass, right through the Rosebuds' wall of defense.
Painbow Fright, she jumped through there. She picked up 4 points on her own pass. Right now, they're just trading passes out on the track.
Well, and with no lead jammer, that's what we're going to see these teams do, just trade 4-point passes.
There was a nice big hit up there. They believe it was Root of All Evil. She tried to slow her down. Now she's just trying to make a hole to get her jammer free.
Evil McNeevil mixing it up in the backfield for I-5. Painbow Fright having a hard time getting through the pack on this scoring pass.
Well, if this is any indication of what we're going to see for the rest of this bout, we are in for a treat. Right now, we've got a score. Rosebuds sitting at 21, and I-5 Roller Girls at 17.
The upstart team from Portland, Oregon with an early lead right now.
17.
I believe Tempest Fugit got the star on her helmet out there. And the other jammer is hiding from me. And there she goes. Blasting through the pack once again. I-5 getting the lead jammer first. They're in control of this jam. Tempest Fugit has got out of the pack. She's working her way around, but not before I-5's jammer jumps in there and calls off that jam.
1 point for each jammer in that jam.
Point for Tempest Fugit.
That last jammer with Maya Mascara did a nice job. Good heads-up play. I'm really impressed so far with the I-5 Roller Girls and their awareness on the track.
That is Lex Accelerator wearing the jam cap for I-5.
Full lineup of 4 blockers from each in that pack right now. Lex Accelerator finds a hole. She is free, and she's off to the races.
Bad advice now through the pack for the Rosebuds, clear on her initial.
Also pushed through on that initial pass. Hold the front wall there. Ooh.
Great wall set up in the back. I don't know how she got free. Lex Accelerator jumps through the middle of that wall, and she picks up 4 easy points on that pass.
I-5 climbs to within 1 point early on in this bout. Jesus Feist returning to the jam line for the Rosebuds, opposite Destroyer for the I-5 Roller Girls.
You know, Jesus Feist out there, every time we see her on that jammer line, she's always dancing.
I don't know that anyone has more fun playing Derby than Jesus Feist.
I agree with you. Absolutely can believe that she is the most fun. All right, and as we say that, this is their first lead jam so far in this game, and it comes compliment of Jesus Feist.
Feist finding room on the inside, accelerates through that front straightaway to lead jammer.
She hits the back of that pack, tries to eke through, didn't get any points on that. Nice wall set up by I-5.
Destroyer picking up 1 point before Feist called that jam off. Tie bout.
Tie game. 25 minutes left in this game. But that's the way we like it.
That is Maya Massacre on the line for I-5.
And Painbow Fright with a star on her helmet for the team in purple.
Painbow Fright trying to work the outside, moves to the inside, push to the infield by I-5. Maya Massacre working the outside of turns 2.
Phoebe Sting got a little sting on Painbow Fright. She picked up a forearm. She's headed to the penalty box.
Painbow Fright around T-Pain on the inside, clear on her initial pass. Maya Massacre, your lead jammer, as she attacks the wall on her scoring pass.
Yeah, she's trying to go around the outside. Painbow Fright comes in. Nice big hit. Oh, and it was a back block. That was a great heads-up awareness move by that blocker to jump and position herself to get that call.
Grand slam for Maya Massacre and the I-5 Roller Girls, who are now in a power jam.
No offense being played by I-5. They're just going to let their jammer do it, and so far she's doing a good job of it.
Big Mac, one of the strong blockers for the Rosebuds, up front, holding back. Destroyer
doing a nice come at me bro move, and she's just gonna work it out. They're doing a great job killing this penalty. Oh, Root of All Evil just lost her footing, and just like that, the I-5 ladies get 5 points.
Maya Massacre through for 5 points, and a real quick star pass. Painbow Fright out of the penalty box, passing that to Big Mac, I believe.
I think it's a good call, and they're going to call it off. That's a wise move. There was a lot of momentum. They don't want to lose any points. They just went up 12 points in this last jam, compliments of that penalty.
2 points for Maya Massacre on that last scoring pass. I-5 now with a 34-22 lead.
We're going to see Lex Accelerator on the line for I-5 once again with a star on her helmet.
She is opposite Bad Advice for the Rosebuds.
No one in the penalty box, so it's 4-on-4 in the blocking war. Lex Accelerator out front, out first. Oh, and Slamnesia got a hold of her, could not contain her. Jesus Feist tried to stop her, and she's your lead jammer.
Lex Accelerator got hit by every skater on the track. Bad Advice still working through the pack on her initial pass, suffocating defense up front by I-5.
And you know, with that lead jam status, that is 3 for 3. Every time Lex Accelerator has gotten out there so far, she has been your lead jammer.
Lex Accelerator's completed a 5-point scoring pass already, looking for more.
Lex Accelerator, nice move. She got that inside line to open up by going to the outside, jump to the in, and that's another 5-point pass.
Payne Forrest, a little bit of offense to get Bad Advice free on her initial pass.
Bad Advice comes scooching in there. She bumped the back of it, but didn't pick up any points for her effort. And just like that, I-5 has more than doubled this score. They're sitting at 47 to Rosebuds only at 22. We've got 21 minutes left in this game. We're going to see Tempest Fugit at the line and number 91, Destroyer.
Full contingent of blockers on the track to start the jam. I-5 again with that wall in front.
There she is again. Destroyer jumps out first. She's your lead jammer. Tempest Fugit still trying to navigate through that wall.
Malice in Wonderland and Sierra Rated Blade up front. Fugit gets by Sierra Rated Blade. She is clear on her initial pass.
Rose City needs to get around and try and pick up some points. They have been scoreless in the last 4 jams. Make that score up. Nope, they got 1 point. Finally getting something on the board. But like I said, they have been scoreless in the prior 4 jams going into that last jam.
Last-ditch effort by Tempest Fugit did pick up 1 point, as King pointed out there, at the tail end of that jam.
For the length of the strip from your nose to your finger.
That is number 531, Little Bunny Bruges, taking her first trip to the jam line for the Rosebuds.
And Maya Massacre, which I believe is her first time at the line, but I could be mistaken. She's really getting worked over by that line. A lot of swings, a lot of hits, but she's finally found the hold, and she's through his lead jammer.
Bratmobile and Root of All Evil trying to hold her back. Little Bunny Bruges trying to work on the outside of the front straightaway.
Maya Massacre is up against the back of that wall. She is really working it over. Out of play called. They've got to let her free, and that's 5 points.
Little Bunny Bruges trying to work through the pack between turns 3 and 4. Gets knocked out of turn 4 and recycled back into turn 3.
And that's 5 more points on that pass. Little Bunny Breezy has finally gotten out of the pack. That was a lot of hard work for her to finally get through that wall of I-5.
Kilbon gave chase, tried to hold her back.
Little Bunny Breezy picks up 3 more points on that pass.
Actually, I think those 3 were from Maya Massacre.
Yep, it was.
Little Bunny Bruges held scoreless there. Jesus Feist on the jam line opposite Lex Accelerator. I-5 with a 4-3 blocker advantage to start the jam. Rosebuds with the 3-wall up front to start the jam. Jesus Feist tries to go outside on her toe stops.
Whole lot of hitting. She's trying to get through. She's got 1 player left to beat. Jesus Feist, and she made it through, not as lead jammer though.
No pass, no penalty. Lead jammer going to I-5. Lex Accelerator is the lead jammer. Feist looking back, waiting for Lex Accelerator to call it off, and she does.
Why not wait? You don't want to waste any more energy than you have to getting to the back of that wall. Lex Accelerator doing a fine job. She didn't get out first, but she did get lead jammer once again.
For those of you watching at home that have not seen these 2 teams compete, this is a Northwest rivalry that has been years in the making, actually, and It has been a lot of fun. I'm glad that everybody's getting to view this matchup.
So far in the first 10 jams, I-5 has gotten 90% lead jammer.
Jesus Feist with the only lead jammer for the Rosebuds. Destroyer through the pack, lead jammer I-5. Little Bunny Bruges works her way around Sierra Rated Blade at the front. She's clear on her initial pass.
Rosebuds stuck in the back. They've got to deal with that jammer now. She hits and destroys that wall. One player left to beat, not enough to slow her down, and she's through for 4 points.
Fatality tried to hold back Destroyer at the front of the pack. Destroyer finds the answer though, 4 points.
Great wall work and defense right now. They escort Little Bunny Bruges out of bounds and take her back.
Meanwhile, Destroyer working over the front of the pack for 5 points for I-5.
Ooh, Death by Beth with a crushing hit, taking out Little Bunny Bruges.
I-5 scoring at will right now. They've extended their lead 78 to 26.
And right with that last jam, 14 points picked up on that last jam, and for I-5, and they are really moving forward in this game, pushing the distance between these two teams, and it's going to make it a lot harder for the Rosebuds to get back into it.
Tempest Fugit and Lexcelerator jammers of record in this jam, and Lexcelerator pushes her way by Root of All Evil, lead jammer I-5.
She almost wills her way through that pack. It's amazing. Tempest Fugit stuck behind a wall. Her team's trying to get her out, but the recycling from I-5 is just incredible.
Suffocating defense by I-5 in the backfield. 5-point scoring pass for Lexcelerator as she's coming around again.
Finally, the Rosebuds managed to get Tempest Fugit out with a little help on offense, but it's not enough. I-5 calls it off after picking up 4 more points.
And we've got a team timeout being called by the Rosebuds.
Now this is a good time for a timeout. You've got a score of 87 to 26. Rosebuds have basically scored about 4 points in way too many jams. And so you need to call and reassess what you're doing. Call the troops in. Make sure you got a good game plan going into the rest of this game. You do not want it to creep away on you like it has been in the first 15 minutes.
I-5 has been working with a triangle and at times diamond containment defense, usually in the backfield where they're using 2 blockers braced by a front blocker, or occasionally 2 blockers in the middle, 1 up front bracing and 1 sort of sweeping in the back. They've had great success using that defense against the Rosebuds jammers.
Yeah. Now they needed to recapture some of the magic they had in the first couple of jams. They came out strong. They looked real good. They scored a lot of points. There were some penalties involved with that. Maybe getting I-5 in penalty issues is going to help them, and taking advantage of those penalty issues is going to help the Rosebuds possibly get into it. So Rosebuds in the last 10 jams have only scored 2 points. They got to change that. That's where they got to step down, step up their defense, and get some lead jams out there.
That I-5 defense has held through for pretty much the last 10 minutes, last 10 jams, like you said. Rosebud's going to send Jesus Feist out to the jam line. She will be skating opposite number 55, Karmic Death.
Jesus Feist looking up that outside line. She did get glided out of bounds. She's got to go to the back and start again. Great wall work. 1 player left to beat, though, for Rosebuds. And I-5 once again with the lead jammer.
Feist making work of the pack, clear on her initial, giving up about a quarter track to Karmic Death.
Karmic Death engaged the back of the pack. She hits that wall hard, opens up a hole, but she's got a back block. It's the call. There we go. I couldn't quite see it from my angle. It is a back block call on Karmic Death.
Now, the unfortunate thing for Karmic Death as Jesus Feist clears the pack on a 5-point scoring pass was Karmic Death did not hear the call until after she was past the point of no return. So she had to skate all the way back around before she could take a seat in the penalty box for 30 seconds.
And there's another pass. 5 more points. This is the opportunity that I was talking about. Getting them in a penalty problem and then taking advantage of it.
Rosebuds going passive with the offense. Feist having to work against that containment defense by I-5 in the front. No pack is called. Feist goes round the outside. She clears the pack. 5 points, Rosebuds.
Interesting. Little stat I just got picked up from my cohort, Ophelia Mellons. All 3 of the power jams, 2 on I-5, 1 on Rosebuds, they're all back blocks. So it's maybe something the coaches need to address with their team. Watch out. This is what the refs might be looking for.
Karmic Death out of the penalty box, mixing it up. Gets recycled from turn 4 back to turn 3. Feist still battling her way through turn 4. That is number 09 up front. Audrey Hedburn for I-5 trying to hold her back.
Another strong pass for Jesus Feist. 5 more points on the track.
5 points.
And the defense in the back shutting down I-5, and Karmic Death not able to get out.
Feist shrugs off a hit by Evil McNevel. 2 points for I-5 as that jam ends, and it looked like Feist got a full 5-point scoring pass there. That was a great timeout.
Yeah, it really, like I said, that's what a timeout is for. You got to get everybody's head back in the game. You got to get them right back on the right path. Right now, we've got a score I-5 89, Rosebuds 51, and that was one heck of a jam for that team.
Tempest Fugit on the line for the Rosebuds. Destroyer jamming for I-5. 4-3 pack advantage for the Rosebuds to start.
That was a 28-point jam by Jesus Feist.
Tempest Fugit goes round the outside, gets enough containment from Batmobile and Wendigo Killums. Lead jammer, Rosebuds.
Kind of like where they're stopping right here in the straightaway. Tempest Fugit jumps up, tries to tap the back. Not enough. Not enough to get any points there.
Now Tempest Fugit doing what we see a lot of jammers doing is when they know they're going to be calling off the jam as they hit the pack, they go sideways trying to get their hips past the opposing blocker's hips, maybe squeak out 1 or 2 points. Fugit unable to do so in that jam.
We have a lot of respect and love for the vendors who come here.
Go ahead.
Little Bunny Bruges stepping up to the line for the Rosebuds. And that is L'Accelerator jamming for I-5.
L'Accelerator once again. She's your lead jammer. It's almost an automatic thing when she gets on that line.
Feist and Slamnesia getting Little Bunny Bruise some offense. She's clear of the pack.
Little Bunny Bruise engages that wall, does not pick up any points.
3 points picked up by L'Accelerator.
And like I said, it's an automatic thing for L'Accelerator. That is 6 for 6. Lead jammer statuses. Every 6 times she's hit that line, 6 times she's gotten the call for lead jammer.
Tempest Fugit jamming once again. She's up against Evil McNevel. I believe that's Evil McNevel's first jam, first start as a jammer this bout.
I believe so, yep. And they take her back. Oh, Tempest Fugit picking up the cut. She is headed to the penalty box. That's going to put Evil McNevel in a power jam.
Rosebud's defense going to be tested right here. Root of Evil up front and a high block on Evil McNevel. Going to be a jammer do-si-do.
You know, that was a little bit of incidental contact. I appreciate them trying to make things safe, but that was a grazing hit.
Rosebuds now going to find themselves in a short power jam. Fugit being left to fight against the blockers on her own.
There's that triangle defense you're talking about. They did a really nice job trying to burn down this power jam, playing that good defense.
That was Phoebe Sting, Karmic Death, and Audrey Hedburn on that triangle up front. Fugit around the pack looking for points now as Evil McNevel fights against the Rosebuds, blockers in the back.
Great work up front being played by the Rosebuds. They needed to drop a bridge, though. They've got to let the jammer go as she pushed it out of play.
Fugit gets around Lexi, and I know it. She clears the pack. That is a 4-point scoring pass for the Rosebuds as Evil McNevel working on a scoring pass.
And so far, they are really shutting down Evil McNevel.
Root of all evil versus Evil McNevel. That's a great battle going on the track right now.
Yeah, she has done all the work that needs to be done. I'm really impressed with her play.
Meanwhile, Tempest Future shot behind
Audrey Hedber in the back part of that triangle for the I-5.
Bradmobile tried to jump up there and slow down that jammer for one more time, but she could not get a hold of her.
Now Tempest.
Yeah, she's back there playing a little bit of offense on defense, and 4 more points getting picked up on that last pass.
2 more points put up on I-5's side of the scoreboard.
Right now we got a score 98-59. I-5 still on top with 9 minutes left in this first half.
Destroyer on the jam line for I-5. Jesus Feist for the Rosebuds.
Jesus Feist trying to work that outside line. She loves that outside, and as she should, she is your lead jammer.
Destroyer up against number 6, Mackie Kennedy, gets around her on the inside. She's clear on her initial pass.
I-5 lining up in the back. Jesus Feist tries to take around the outside. She got bumped out of bounds. No points for either team on that pass.
Feist with an unconventional maneuver trying to put some points on the Rosebud side of the scoreboard there.
So that's the raffle. We got 2 baskets offered tonight, 2 baskets tomorrow, 1 basket for the
Once again, all the players on the track, nobody in the penalty box. I believe, is that Rodeval Evil I'm seeing on that jammer line?
Indeed it is, opposite L'Accelerator for I-5.
Let's see if they've got an answer for her. Her lead jams. Oh, she comes in swinging. Tempest Fugit, nice recycling, gets her out of bounds. And she's got to go back and start again.
Kilbon making sure Tempest Fugit couldn't recycle her any further back.
And just like clockwork, L'Accelerator 7 times in a row. She is your lead jammer once again.
Rodeval Evil still working on her initial pass as L'Accelerator clears on a 5-point grand slam.
Rodeval Evil comes in, hits it hard. Oh, picks up a back block. Yeah, I knew she hit that pretty hard. I didn't know about the back block, but I also didn't have the right angle for it. 5 points, though.
L'Accelerator accelerating through the hole in the pack for 5, coming around for more. I-5 now with the passive offense. Tempest Fugit dropping L'Accelerator in turn 2. L'Accelerator pushing the wall out, goes round the outside, and she clears on a 5-point scoring pass.
They come all the way back and line up against the backside. Finally, a little bit of offense being played, and they take 2 of the Rosebuds and take them out of bounds and take them back.
Tempest Fugit trying to guide L'Accelerator to the outside. L'Accelerator gets by her, though, on that scoring pass.
I-5 content in the back. They knew that jammer was coming. They heard it. Rodeval Evil now pushing up against the back of that wall and trying to get through. We got a cap pass.
That cap pass, of course, going to the pivot Tempest Fugit for the Rosebud. She clears the pack. L'Accelerator, a little bit of jammer defense.
I am loving this action from L'Accelerator.
L'Accelerator calls off the jam as the jammers come through turn 4.
She is someone to look forward to in the future. Well,
L'Accelerator, yes,
yeah, the
indeed.
future is now, but I can imagine her really turn into someone powerful in this in the WFTDA.
L'Accelerator has been a thorn in the Rosebud side now for a couple of years.
Yep.
Number 91 on the jam line, that is Destroyer for I-5. She's opposite number 531, Little Bunny Bruise You for the Rosebuds.
Well, Little Bunny Bruise You tried to sneak around the outside by tiptoeing through, but was taken back.
Destroyer pushes the pack out front, lead jammer I-5.
She is on those toe stops, and this time it works. Little Bunny Bruise You gets out of the pack.
She really did only need the width of her toe stop on that outside line to get through the pack. Destroyer pushes out the Rosebuds blockers in front. 4-point scoring pass. Calls off the jam before Little Bunny Bruise You can put any points on the board.
Well, the Rosebuds had a nice little run, got themselves some scoring, but it looks like that run has come to an end the last few jams. And I-5 has really pushed that score back up again.
Big Mac taking the star for the Rosebuds. And I believe that's L'Accelerator once again for I-5. No, it is not L'Accelerator. That is T-Pain jamming for I-5.
Big Mac up front. She has pushed it up, and she's got one player left to beat. God, she is just working over those blockers, and finally is awarded that lead jam.
T-Pain being held back by Wendigo Killams for the Rosebuds. T-Pain now clear on her initial pass.
Big Mac jumps in there. She hits and scoots around the outside. She picks up 2 points and stops the drought of being scoreless for the Rosebuds here in the last few minutes.
I-5 with a 66-point lead as we are under 4 minutes left to play in this first half. Rosebud's going to send Tempest Fugit out to the jam line. She will be jamming against number 26, Maya Massacre. 4-on-4 in the pack to start. Tempest Fugit goes to the outside through the pack lead. Jammer hot on her wheels. Maya Massacre. Rosebuds blockers cycle to the front. I-5 blockers in the back.
And that is definitely something they needed going into this because the first 20 jams so far in this game, I-5 Roller Girls have gotten out 16 times to Rosebuds 4 lead jammers.
80% lead jammer efficacy.
80%. You are not going to be able to win a game only getting out, well, losing, only getting out 20% of the time.
All right, back to the action on the track.
Nice play there up front.
That is Lexi, and I know it. Lead jammer, I-5. Jesus Feist held up in the backfield.
She's got one player left to beat, though. That was great offense. Great work by the Rosebuds to drop back, know how to get their jammer out, and get her free from that pack.
Bratmobile takes a big hit, slow to get up. She's still skating timidly in turn 3.
No pack being called. Jesus Feist getting drawn back as she's got to start again.
4-point scoring pass for Lexi, and I know it. Feist now clear on the outside. 4-point scoring pass for the Rosebuds.
One player left to beat up front. Lexi, and I know it, calls it off, picks up 3 points as she was getting escorted out of bounds in turn number 1.
Bratmobile returns to the Rosebuds bench holding her right arm. So we got less than a minute, 30 seconds on the period clock. Tempest Fugit with the star for the Rosebuds. L'Accelerator jamming against her for I-5.
L'Accelerator, just a machine. Ran right through the middle of that wall like it wasn't there. She's your lead jammer.
Tempest Fugit finding room to work on the inside of turn 1. Clears the pack for the Rosebuds.
Excellent call. She called it off. Oh,
Tempest Fugit landed that apex jump for 4 points, King.
That was a photo finish, too. I was real worried she wasn't going to get it, but that was some skill on the part of that young lady. And the Rosebuds fan go wild over in the audience. The cheering has begun. They love seeing good effort like that.
Maya Massacre jamming for I-5. Clears the pack around the outside of the far straightaway. Lead jammer.
And they got to hold that wall down a little bit better. She went through the same middle, got that opening, and she is out already on her scoring pass.
Keelbon working up front, trying to hold back Little Bunny Bruise You. Out of play penalty whistled on Keelbon. She'll head to the penalty box.
Yeah, but she started. Little Bunny Bruise You had to go back around and start again.
Feist moving Maya Massacre to the inside, stopping her on that scoring pass, recycling her. Little Bunny Bruise You fighting against Evil McNeville up front. She's clear on her initial pass.
And number 21, Phoebe Stinks. She is headed to the box because of a failure to reform.
Maya Massacre working the front of the pack. That is Feist up front.
Nice hit by Feist, taking out that blocker.
Little Bunny Bruges, you able to take advantage of the chaos to skate through for 4 points.
Great defense being laid down. They need to drop some bridges, but they are doing a great job containing the jammer from I-5.
Maya Massacre shrugging off a couple of big hits, now working against Feist in the front of the pack as Little Bunny Bruges working against Evil McNevil in the backfield.
Little Bunny Bruges, you found the light of day on the outside. She's running around, and I believe that is a grand slam for Little Bunny Bruges.
Feist moved Maya Massacre to the inside of turn 4. That provided the Rosebuds the stop they needed for that grand slam. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are going to halftime. I-5 Roller Girls leading the Rosebuds 134-78. Make sure you stay tuned for the second half. We'll have that for you in less than 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on track 1 here at the Big O in Eugene, Oregon. At the break, I-5 Roller Girls 134, Rose City Rosebuds 78. And in the first half, top scorers for the Rosebuds, Painbow Fry 21 points, and Jesus Feist with 32.
Yeah, also the first half scorers for I-5, Maya Massacre, she's got 26. D, she's got 39, and Lexcelerator 59 points. And the key point of that is every time you put her on the track, she has gotten lead jammer status all day.
Yeah, ride the Hot Wheels when you have the opportunity.
Absolutely. Now, what you got to look for in this second half is the Rosebuds have got to figure out a way to at least stop Lexcelerator.
Well, that would definitely be one of the keys to the game. The other thing that has been a strong point for I-5, we talked about it in the first half, their defense, the triangle defense, the diamond defense working up front for them really well. Rosebuds not taking the opportunity to play offense for their jammer, and that has cost them. They have given up multiple scoring passes when they have not had lead jammer, and that's really been to their detriment in the first half.
Well, and the other thing, I-5 right now is sitting at about 80% of getting the lead jammer status. So the other key factor that Rosebuds need to think about is getting their jammer out first. They've got to start controlling this game instead of being in recovery mode. You cannot win a game when you're basically only getting about 20% lead jammer status. And I've said that in the last half, and you've got to fix it now in this second half if you plan on walking away with this game.
I-5 going to start this second half down 1 blocker as Tempest Fugit lines up at the jam line for the Rosebuds, opposite number 91, Destroyer.
This game starts. Tempest Fugit goes out. She's getting hit.
Destroyer finding room on the inside through turn 1, accelerates to lead jammer for I-5. Tempest Fugit breaks the pack on her initial.
Yeah, she's still got a little bit of ways to go. Destroyer runs right through the middle, and boom! Tempest Fugit had a nice jump right there in the apex, but it looks like she came down out of bounds, slid inbounds, and gets the cut.
Tempest Fugit not happy with that call as she reports to the penalty box. Power jam, I-5, and Destroyer takes advantage going through the middle of the Rosebuds wall. 5-point scoring pass.
Just as Destroyer number 91 picks up 5 points for I-5.
Nice slow wall as the pack stops in the apex. Destroyer hits that wall. She is pushing it through. She destroyed the wall, and that's 5 easy points.
Shrugs off a hit from Root of All Evil as she exits the pack on that scoring pass. Fugit now out of the penalty box for the Rosebuds.
Destroyer once again hits that sweet spot right in the middle and wedges it open to get 5 more points.
Tempest being held back. That's Malice in Wonderland working with Sierra Rated Blade and Karmic Death up front. Fugit goes to the outside, clears the pack. 4-point scoring pass, Rosebuds.
And Destroyer calls it off after picking up 4 points of her own. Right now, going into this game, we've got 157 for I-5, and Rose City, the Rosebuds in purple, only have 82.
10 penalties for out of play. And the Rosebuds, 2 out of their 5 were back blockers.
Lexi and I know it, wearing this star for I-5, Jesus Feist, jam road record for the Rosebuds, 4-on-4 in the pack to start the next jam, King.
Jesus Feist hits the back of that wall. She's going outside to in, trying to find a weakness and a hole to get through.
Lexi and I know it, battling up front, gets around Painbow Fright, and then around Fatality Jammer I-5.
Jesus Feist finally in turn number 3 managed to navigate the pylon that is the team of I-5 and gets through.
Lexi and I know it hits the back wall, being held up by the Rosebuds defense in turn 3. Fists in the air for ref solidarity, no score. I do that for Darth Bling.
And it looks like Maya Massacre one more time out there in the track with a star on her helmet. Tempest Fuge's got the star for the Rosebuds.
Rosebuds down 1 blocker at the start of this jam. You can see on their screen there, they are lined up in front of the I-5 blockers. Maya Massacre through the pack, lead jammer I-5. Tempest Fuge trying to go around the outside. Track cut on Barbie Brutal. She's going to report to the penalty box for I-5.
Rosebuds lining up in the back. And Maya Massacre hits that wall and tries to get through. They slowed her down for a little while, but not enough. She is through for 4 points.
Maya Massacre may have hit that wall, but that wall hit back. Slamnesia and Root of All Evil giving her a couple good-sized hits as she got through the pack on that scoring pass.
Oh, Painbow Fright's got a piece of that jammer and escorted her out of bounds.
Tempest Fugit, meanwhile, takes advantage of the confusion, skates through for a 4-point scoring pass.
And the blockers of Rosebuds having a great time abusing the I-5 jammer.
A lot of work by Painbow Fright in the backfield for Rose City. Tempest Fugit clears, and that is a 5-point natural grand slam.
Root of All Evil takes that jammer out in turn number 1. Maya Massacre says, I have had enough. Taps her hips and calls off this jam.
Rose eating into the I-5 lead a little bit, 169-95, under 26 minutes left to go in the second half. Big Mac on the jam line opposite number 31, Evil McNevil for I-5.
Big Mac trying to take it up that outside line. She gets taken out but jumps right back in. It's the battle of the Macs right now. And Big Mac is the winner. She's out first as your lead jammer.
Evil McNevil being held up by Little Bunny Bruju at the front of the pack. Evil McNevil now clear on her initial pass, giving up about a third of the track to Big Mac.
I'm pretty sure it's safe to say it's a Mac attack. Big Mac gets through. She picks up 3 easy points, calls off this jam.
This is the greatest job in the world. Now if we could only get paid. Destroyer lines up on the jam line opposite number 241, Painbow Fright for the Rosebuds.
You know my checks are adoring fans at home. That's all the love we need.
That's right. Empty penalty box to start this jam.
And a great push by the captain. She is through as your lead jammer.
Destroyer laying a couple hits as she clears the pack on her initial pass for I-5.
Painbow Fright makes it look easy, and she calls off this jam after picking up another 4 points on that pass.
Interesting inverse almost a team inverse offense by I-5 created a gap that allowed Painbow Fright to push that wall, create her own opening, and skate through on that scoring pass.
Well, finally, the Rosebuds have breached the century mark. They're sitting at 102. I-5 stifled at 169. We've got 23 and a half minutes left in this game.
We've got L'Accelerator jamming for I-5, Jesus Feist for the Rosebuds, and wouldn't you know it, L'Accelerator lead jammer.
What? Jesus Feist really working on that I-5. Oh, that offense, or excuse me, the defense there. She finally does find the light of day and gets herself through.
Feist might have been able to get through quicker, tripped up on the rope in the front straightaway. L'Accelerator through for a 4-point scoring pass.
And the coach of I-5 says, let it go. And I like the call right there. It was a trade-off, 4-on-4. She's hoping that they can slow it down and keep scoring, though.
Well, keep in mind, the point differential still in favor of I-5. They picked up a scoring pass before Feist could clear on her initial. 5-point scoring pass, L'Accelerator.
Jesus Feist got hung up. Karmatic Death gets in there. Maya Massacre tries to hit her, but she still picks up 4 points for her effort.
Slamnesia trying to hold back L'Accelerator. L'Accelerator traverses the pack, and that is 4 more points for I-5.
Well, the spread on that was 9 more points for I-5. So when the coach on the sideline says keep going, that's why. Jesus Feist picked up 8 points, but 17 points were picked up by the I-5 team in that trade-off.
It's all about that positive point differential. Tempest Fugit jamming for the Rosebuds.
Nice slow pack.
That is T-Pain jammer for I-5.
Tempest Fugit really hitting that wall, trying to get through. She's your lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Painbow Fright in the backfield doing work for the Rosebuds. A thorn in T-Pain's side this jam.
I think the Rosebuds are just getting warmed up. They're showing a lot more flair on the defensive end and a lot more flair on the offensive end.
Serrated Blade and Evil McNevil trying to stop Tempest Fugit at the front of the pack, who cleared on a scoring pass and is working on another.
One player left to beat, King Doom Hearts, and she tries to take her out of bounds. They've got her stuck in the back of that pack still.
Low block Painbow Fright. She's going to report to the penalty box. Tempest Fugit pushes out the I-5 defensive wall. 5-point scoring pass, Rosebuds.
Finally, I-5 managed to get their jammer out. That is T-Pain on her initial pass.
Root of all evil tried to keep her contained. T-Pain had the answer. Tempest Fugit sees T-Pain coming up on a scoring pass, calls off the jam.
That was a 12-point jam for Tempest Fugit, and this is exactly the kind of action they need. It's a 66-point game, but you know with 20 minutes left on this clock, I-5 does not own this game yet.
L'Accelerator returns to the jam line. This time she'll be skating opposite Big Mac. Blocker advantage, I-5 to start the jam at 4-3.
L'Accelerator doing what she does. She stays at the center of the track, and she is your lead jammer.
L'Accelerator, amazing footwork, almost always on display when she's jamming. Big Mac moved to the outside by Phoebe Sting.
Big Mac still stuck in that pack. She's getting knocked around on the outside.
Barbie Brutal escorting Big Mac to the outside. L'Accelerator, who's already completed 1 scoring pass, working on another.
Painbow Fright executed that initial pass for Big Mac.
L'Accelerator with a track cut. Power jam Rosebuds.
Love it when a blocker gets in there and makes things happen for their jammer. Big Mac on a power jam. She pushes it out, wills herself through, and that's 5 more points for your Rosebuds.
Barbie Brutal tried to stop Big Mac. Was not able to keep her contained. And now
we got a star pass. Big Mac does not want to attack anymore. And Painbow Fright now, she's got the star.
3 points on that scoring pass for the Rosebuds. Interesting call to pass the cap to Painbow Fright. Painbow Fright pushes out 5-point grand slam Rosebuds.
Oh, you got to pay attention to where that jammer is. You got to know when she's coming back in that pack.
Fatality to the penalty box. Failure to reform. 4-point scoring pass. I-5.
Painbow Fright just muscle her way through, and that's 5 more points for her.
Little Bunny Bruise You tries to stop Accelerator, slows her roll a little bit, but Accelerator through the pack 4 points.
I don't know if slow is the correct term for that. Painbow Fright, 4 more points.
Accelerator right behind her, 4 points for I-5.
Painbow Fright says, no. I'm going to hit you right here.
Jam called off.
They gained a little bit of ground. We've got a score of 143 to 203, so now we're down to 60 points. It's that kind of strong play that Rose City needs to keep up, though.
I-5 doing exactly what they need to do, keeping their eye on the prize. Maya Massacre on the line for I-5, opposite Jesus Feist for the Rosebuds.
Jesus Feist runs in. She hits that wall. She's trying to eke her way up that outside.
Maya Massacre clears the pack through the middle. Lead jammer I-5. Feist now clear on her initial.
I-5 taking the front. Or excuse me, Rosebuds taking the front. I-5 taking the back. 3 points picked up in the front for I-5.
Feist unable to put any points on the board in that jam. Big Mac returning to the jam line for the Rosebuds. Destroyer jamming for I-5.
All players on the track. We got a 4-on-4 pack. And this jam is on.
And you see Evil McNeevil turned around to brace that triangle defense by I-5. Destroyer, quick work of the pack, lead jammer.
Well, they played a little bit of offense trying to get their jammer through. But just like that, oh, Destroyer runs up and levels Little Bunny Bruise You.
And we've got a play call, I believe, at the front of the pack. That was Kilbon being sent to the penalty box. Big Mac clears on her initial pass.
And just like that, King Doom Hearts once again having to take a knee as she gets hit by that jammer.
Destroyer 5-point scoring pass using one of her teammates, Lexi, and I know it as a battering ram trying to get through the pack.
That was great offense. And this team is great at recycling. Lexi and I know it saw that the jammer was getting knocked out of bounds. She ran all the way back, slows this pack down, and makes it easy for the other jammer to get up and score.
Painbow Fright, big hit on Evil McNeevil. And we have a blocking with the head call.
Yep.
Power jam Rosebuds, and it looks like we've got an attempted, nope, it is a completed cap pass.
Yeah, there's nothing attempted about that. That is Painbow Frights, and she gets 4 points on that pass.
Rosebuds set up, go a little more active on the offense. Painbow Fright trying to push out Kilbon. She does. 5-point grand slam, Rosebuds.
And they got an out-of-play penalty called on I-5. This is an opportunity to take advantage of depleted numbers. Oh.
Back block on Big Mac, who is setting up to play offense for the Rosebuds. Little too much pushing. She'll spend 30 minutes in the penalty box.
4 points being picked up by both. No, wait, may take 5 points being picked up on Painbow Frights. Destroyer picked up 4 points on her pass as she came out of the box.
I was going to say, Destroyer quickly out of the penalty box, and it didn't look like anybody knew she had left.
Caught them looking the other way.
225 for I-5, 158 for the Rosebuds. Under 15 minutes left to go in the second half.
Accelerator on the line.
Thank you, Recycle. And as a side note,
Tempest Fugit jamming for the Rosebuds. Tempest Fugit to the outside, Accelerator on the inside.
They take her back. They got to reform, though. And there's a penalty. Root of all Evil's calling out for help, and there's no one up there. She needs to know when to get back into that wall.
Smacky Kennedy, one of the penalties. Tempest Fugit picks up 4 points on the scoring pass, calls off the jam.
And that is the first time Accelerator has got on the track and not picked up lead jammer status today.
You notice in that jam the quick call off by Tempest Fugit, very aware of the overarching story on the track. Time not on the Rosebud side, not wanting to waste any precious seconds, calls off that jam as quickly as she got all of her points.
We got a heavily depleted pack out there, 2-on-2. Oh, that was almost a photo finish. Jesus Feist is out front, but she is not your lead jammer.
I-5 squeaking out lead jammer's status. Maya Massacre comes up on the back of the pack. Feist pushed to the outside of the far straightaway.
And she glides around. She picks up her points, and she's still out front.
I-5 continuing to run the jam. 4 points traded between the two teams.
All 4 of the blockers now out there for I-5. Jesus Feist finds a hole on the inside, but is taken down in the apex.
Meanwhile, Maya Massacre trying to get around Smacky Kennedy up front. 4-point scoring pass for I-5.
Now it's only 1 point picked up by Jesus Feist. They got to be a little bit more efficient here with the Rosebuds when they are scoring. And they've got to play a lot more defense to try and shut down those jammers for I-5. I-5 right now running like a well-oiled machine. Their recycling's working, their defense is working, and they're really controlling the jams each time out there.
Painbow Fright wearing the cap for Rosebuds. That is L'Accelerator again for I-5.
And once again, L'Accelerator got out, but she's not your lead jammer. Painbow Fright was the first one out of that pack.
Painbow Fright and the Rosebuds continuing to run the jam.
Interesting call off. I think I would have called that a little bit before because 2 points were just picked up there.
Well, that was 2 points for I-5.
Yeah, I would have called that off probably about turn number 4. But I'm not the coach. I'm sure you had a good reason.
Tempest Fugit jamming for Rosebuds. T-Pain, jammer of record for I-5. 4-3 pack advantage in favor of I-5 to start the jam.
Nice tight wall up front. And bad advice. Tried to hold on. She was the last line of defense, but not enough to stop that jammer from I-5.
T-Pain clears. Lead jammer for I-5. Tempest Fugit goes to the inside on the far straightaway. She's now clear on her initial pass.
And this wall from the Rosebuds has got that jammer locked in. But T-Pain, too strong. They could not contain her. She pushed that pack out, got her points, and called off that jam.
Bratmobile with good fight against T-Pain up front. T-Pain eventually able to get around her, though, on that scoring pass.
Axles of Annihilation versus the Texas Firing Squad. I think there'll be a big turnout.
That's going to look like L'Accelerator out there on the line. She's going to be going up against, I believe, Little Bunny Bruise You.
Rose City and
I-5 blockers up front. Rosebuds blockers right on the jam line.
although not lead directly.
L'Accelerator lead jammer.
Once again, her percentage of lead jammer continues to go up.
Little Bunny Bruise You getting some offense, goes round the outside. Almost cleared the pack thanks to Root of All Evil. Now pushes out the front of the pack. She's clear on her initial pass.
Last line of defense was Jesus Feist. L'Accelerator went ahead and pushed it on out. She picks up her 4 points. Excuse me.
Little Bunny Bruise You working on a scoring pass now. Push to the inside. Meanwhile, L'Accelerator untouched on the outside. A 4-point scoring pass.
Both jammers now picking up 4 points. L'Accelerator comes in hot. She hits the back of that pack. A multi-player block, it looks like, is going to be called on Wendigo Killums.
Little Bunny Bruise You, I don't think she knew that she actually legally cleared the pack there. Sort of looked at the referees wondering if there was a track cut call, but she cleared the pack legally, stayed in bounds for 4 points.
L'Accelerator, she hit the back of that pack, did a great, absolutely stunning juke move, and got both of those blockers to commit the opposite direction, so they collided. She went on past to pick up those points. We've got a score of I-5 255, Rose City 175. There's a lot of 5s on the board, and there's 9 minutes left to play.
Painbow Fright going to be jamming for the Rosebuds. And that looks like Death by Beth jamming for I-5.
We'll play the Santa Cruz ground shells at 11:30 on track 3.
Painbow Fright trying to push the front wall of this I-5 pack out. Death by Beth, though, getting abused on that outside straightaway. She is down and had a blocker trip. She's lost the star.
It's an I-5 pile-up party in the corner.
So there is currently no legal jammer of record for I-5 right now. The cap is sitting in the far straightaway just before the entrance to turn 3. It is out of bounds.
Enters the back. Maneuvers the hips. Jam is called.
I don't think I would have
called off the jam?
I don't know. I don't know if I would have called that off in that case. You had a team of 5 blockers out there as Death by Beth jumped into the blocker line. That was an opportunity that Rose City, I think, missed out on.
Well, the jammer cap has been retrieved now.
The next jam is on. Tempest Fugit, she's got the star on her helmet. And look at that.
Accelerator around the pack, lead jammer going to I-5. Tempest Fugit being held up by Phoebe Sting, works her way around her. She's clear on her initial pass now.
I feel like we've said Lex Cellator, lead jammer all morning.
Yeah, not going to argue that. Tempest Fugit trying to land another apex jump, goes down.
Doesn't quite land that quickly.
And she got a cut track.
As the jam is called.
Not. All right. No, she did not. I don't think the head or the ref out there realized that the jam was over. So when she stood up to go back to her bench, he called her on the cut. No call, I think, is going to stand. Timeout's going to happen for Rose City. And all these refs are going to chat about how this game's going.
So we have teams from all over the world.
An interesting last 2 jams we've had here on track 1 at Big O. Well, fans, I know we've got 7 minutes left in this bout, but please to be making sure that you stick around because at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, that will be shortly after the conclusion of this bout, the Axles of Annihilation from Rose City going to be taking on the Texas Firing Squad. That is the beat all-star teams from both Texas and Rose City. Those teams met 2 years ago now, I believe, in Texas. That was the inaugural bout for the Texas Firing Squad, so it'll be good to see those 2 teams taking on one another again.
So Rose City has picked up on their defense, and they've slowed it down a little bit. I-5 is now just 60% for lead jammer so far, but I don't think that's going to be quite enough with 7 minutes left in this game. They got to really buckle down. I mean, if you're going to do it, you are out of time. You have got to do it now if you are Rose City and you want to get back in this game.
You are absolutely right. Rose City cannot suffer any more negative point differentials in jams pretty much from here on forward.
Yeah, their defense has got to be rock solid, and they've got to get their jammer out as the lead and control this game.
Slamnesia and Little Bunny Brugia were working up front. It looks like Payne Forest up to help out. Lexi and I Know It clears the pack lead. Jammer I-5. Bad Advice fighting against the wall in the back for the Rosebuds.
She's getting knocked around in there, but she is still trying to get through. That is just strong, strong defense for I-5, and they've seen this all day long.
Looked like all the blockers were focused on Bad Advice. Nobody seemed to notice Lexi and I Know It come through the pack untouched for a grand slam. She is working on the pack again on her second scoring pass.
Out of play in the front. They've got to let her go, and that's 5 more points for Lexi and I Know It.
Bad Advice. Oh, couldn't quite clear the pack. Gets pushed out of turn 1. Nice defense there by Maya Massacre.
Lily Bunny Brugia trying to get through on that inside line. This time she gets taken out on that inside line and start again in the back.
Little Bunny Brugia trying to hold back Lexi and I Know It up front. Bad Advice still working on her initial pass. That's Barbie Brutal holding her back. Maya Massacre helping out, and Bad Advice calling for the cap pass. That goes to Little Bunny Brugia.
Little Buddy Bruzy gets in there and she starts hitting that wall with intent to get through. And she is, we got an injured player on the track. And this jam comes to an end.
Well, for those of you watching at home, we were unable to figure out which skater that was that went down in turn 3. We will update you as soon as we can.
Well, in case you are just joining us, we just had an injury in turn number 3. We are still waiting for the word. EMTs are over there along with the refs. We are hoping for good things, and my cohort has ran down to see if there's any information on it. In case you are also just joining us, there's 5 minutes and 15 seconds left in this game. I-5 has really pushed the score of this. They're almost up by 100 at 272, with Rosebuds sitting at 175. Rosebuds have just been dominated by the defense and not able to get their jammer out more consistent than the jammers for I-5.
All right, so we just got word from down on the track that is skater White 9-1 for I-5. That is Destroyer, who is being tended to by the EMTs right now. We will give you an update as soon as we can. Again, for those of you who may be joining us in at home, we are in the midst of an injury time out now. We will get back to the action on the track as soon as we can, and we will also update you on the skater as soon as information is made available.
Well, so far in this second half, we've had 18 jams, and it's been a pretty tight, I shouldn't say tight, as I-5 has pushed it out, but Rose City has elevated their level of play. So far, we've seen, let me see, Destroyer with 47 points. L'Accelerator's got 54 points, and Maya Massacre with 18. Tempest is coming a little bit alive here in the second half. She's got 33 points of her own, and Jesus Feist was 23. With the combined score in the last, in this half and the last one, L'Accelerator's got 113 on the books for her to so far in this game. Another one of the higher scorers in this game, Destroyer, she has 86 points for I-5 Roller Girls, and I believe that really is the tail of the tape. They have controlled the game. They have gotten out first more times than the Rosebuds, and that's really what you got to do to control it. And their defense has been better at locking down the jammer for the Rosebuds, so they've had more passes with more scoring. And, really in roller derby, that's what it's all about. But it's the defense that is probably the real storyteller of this. They keep using the triangle and that diamond-shaped defense, and it really has been effective at controlling the jammer for the Rosebuds. Once again, we've got a score of 172, 175. I-5 is up. We are pausing here for an injury timeout, something none of us like to see, and we are going to take as much time as necessary to make sure that everyone is good and safe and taken care of down there on the track. And we're going to be right back with you here very, very shortly. Now, even though they are, they're going to go ahead and take every precaution necessary. They're going to go wheel her out of here. And we're all hoping for the best. I didn't quite see. All we saw, it was a pile-up in turn number 3. She came up obviously reeling in pain, and we are really hoping everything is okay for Destroyer. She's had a fantastic game, and we never like to see this.
So we're all wishing that Destroyer has good news.
Fans and skaters in the venue giving a round of applause.
We'll be with her. Her team will be thinking about her, and
Again, we will do our best to update you as we get updates ourselves.
Coach Vito headed in. There's a little bit of regrouping. It's always hard to come back.
And just one more time for those of you who may be just joining in, we are nearing the end of an injury timeout. Destroyer down in turn 3 has been taken to the local hospital, and we will update you as soon as we know more.
Reformulate and get that to it. So far, L'Accelerator pulled down 113 points of those two.
Well, I think they're going to be taking the track here very, very shortly. It looks like some of the ladies are coming out there. In case you are wondering, up next, you are going to see the Rose City Rollers Axles of Annihilation going up the Texas Firing Squad. And that ought to be another great battle that you do not want to miss on, so stick around for right after this. That's what we got for the lineup.
As we get ready to return to action, L'Accelerator on the jam line for I-5. Jesus Feist jamming for Rosebuds.
And look at that, Lex Accelerator once again, number 18. She's out first as your lead jammer.
Evil McNevil trying to hold back Jesus Feist. Jesus Feist now clear on her initial pass.
Lex Accelerator, she is through, and she picks up 4 points on that pass.
Checks in with her bench. Bench says keep the jam going. Jesus Feist clears the pack for 4 points for the Rosebuds.
So they're just going to start trading some scoring, run this clock down. Coach says keep right on going.
Both times Lex Accelerator has cleared her scoring pass. She's checked in with the bench, and they say keep going. Feist clears the pack for the Rosebuds for 4 points.
Nice job by the Rosebuds to help get their jammer through. But just like that, I-5 did the exact same. Shared the love, 4 points as Lex Accelerator gets through.
Lex Accelerator again checking in with the bench. Feist fighting off a hit out of turn 4. 4 points for the Rosebuds.
That is a real smart heads-up lady right there. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to score these points. Always checks with the bench to know what the plan is.
Jesus Feist accelerates through the pack in the front straightaway. 4 point scoring pass, Rosebuds. Bratmobile and Fatality try to hold back Lex Accelerator, but she busts through that wall for 4 points.
And there was a nice hit up front to open the hole. Jesus Feist runs through for another 4 points.
Malice in Wonderland getting a hit as Feist exits the pack. We are trading 4 point scoring passes here.
They're about a half a track away from each other, and they are literally trading 4 for 4 for 4. And as long as you're doing this, it's going to just run the clock down, and Rose City is going to have, I-5 is going to have the advantage.
Now that was a 3 point scoring pass by Lex Accelerator. No pass, no penalty, or in this case, no pass, no point.
Well, I-5 picked up 27 points in that exchange to Rosebuds 26. So it's pretty much a push.
1 point differential in favor of I-5. They are sending out number 3, Lexi, and I know it to jam. Her opposition, Tempest Fugit, for the Rosebuds.
1 point. So it's 26 points to 27 points. So 1 point here.
Tempest Fugit really pushing the front of that wall and trying to get through.
Lexi and I know it finds some room to work around Payne for as she clears the pack on her initial pass.
And that was excellent offense played by the Rosebuds to open up that hole and get their jammer free.
Maya Massacre tried to stomp Tempest Fugit as a last-ditch effort. Did not work. Lexi and I know it round the outside for 4 points for I-5.
Tempest Fugit trying to find a lot of day, and she did. Maya Massacre last line of defense was not enough to stop her. That's 4 points for Tempest Fugit.
Maya Massacre and Barbie Brutal working in that backfield together for I-5.
Nice wall being set up by I-5. They have slowed the Tempest Fugit down to almost a standstill.
Well, and as we've seen all bout, when I-5 has had 4 blockers on the track, it's a 4-wall across the track, and once the opposing jammer hits the wall, the 4th blocker switches around to bridge, providing that triangle defense.
That's one of my favorite defenses right there. It's beautifully when it's executed right.
Tempest Fugit trying to push against the front of the pack, getting a little bit of offense from Painbow Fright.
That's 4 points for Tempest Fugit. We got a cap pass. And Maya Massacre's got the star.
She cleared the pack for 4 points. Tempest Fugit trying to get through.
We got 1 minute and 10 seconds left.
And we have a timeout being called by the Rosebuds. This might be an official review. We're waiting for word on the track.
They're teasing you, mic checks. They're not going to give you any signal whatsoever.
No, we got the signal now. There we go. It is an official review. Judging from what we can see at the conversation from our vantage point, we saw Coach Feliz Brutality stepping with 1 foot inbounds, 1 foot out of bounds, and going back and forth. So I'm going to guess that they are looking for a track cut that was not called against the I-5 jammer. But that is purely speculation on my part.
I like your speculation.
I like my specs too. Sorry.
Well, as every time with the Rosebuds, when they call a timeout, it becomes a dance party on the jammer line. Of course, that's probably instigated by Jesus Feist, who, that's, roller derby and dancing, that's what she does.
It's a little less prominent here in travel team bouts, but for those of you who have had the opportunity to watch the Rosebuds skate home teams in the hangar at Portland, Oregon, timeouts are usually a dance party.
And this has been a pretty clean second half. There's only been 2 power jams in the second half, 1 for each team.
Head referee addressing both coaches, and we are going to get official word from F and Ref.
Purple was questioning the white jammer at purple 241. The determination was that a different purple blocker had knocked out the jammer, and the jammer hit her behind that blocker. The challenge was dismissed.
Okay, so we were correct in guessing that the Rosebuds were looking for a track cut that was not called. We got the official word from the head referee that the non-call stands, so there was no track cut ruled by the I-5 jammer.
And this jam is on again. Jesus Feist up front. She is out as your lead jammer.
Well, Rosebuds have the initiative as they have lead jammer right now, so we will see if they just push this to the end of the bout or if they try and squeeze a second jam in here. T-Rex clears the pack for I-5.
T-Pain, yeah, she had a beautiful move on that inside line and scooched on through. Jesus Feist calls off this jam as T-Pain ran in and engaged the back of that wall.
Now, she did pick up an illegal procedure for that, it looks like, hitting after the last whistle, so it looks like with this last jam, Rosebuds will start in a power jam with Tempest Fugit on the jam line.
That's very interesting.
Down in turn 4, the Axles of Annihilation have come to cheer on the Rosebuds.
Tempest Fugit pushing up against that wall. She's trying to get him out. Oh, and that is a beautiful move. She's your lead jammer.
Period clock has expired. This will be the last jam of the bout. Tempest Fugit getting some offense from Root of All Evil.
They've got a player. They've drug her back. That is Lexi, and I know it. She is the GOAT.
5-point scoring pass for Tempest Fugit. She's set to come around for more. T-Pain out of the penalty box for I-5, mixing it up in the pack on her initial pass.
Big Mac, last line of defense up front. She could not contain her. And T-Pain is out of that pack.
Tempest Fugit having a hard time getting through that pack. Lexi and I know it, working with Audrey Hedburn. Looks like Malice in Wonderland up front doing work for I-5 as well.
Tempest Fugit, they've got her number right now. They are doing everything defensively to stop her. And as I say that, she scooches out and calls off this jam, picking up 5 points.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of the bout.
And if you haven't seen Rock calling the shots of Phil McCartney, please pass on the note. This is Shane Beers.
Our score on the scoreboard right now reads I-5 317, Rose City 227. We have yet to get the official final, but I think it is safe to say I-5 Roller Girls victorious.
And this, once again, is one of those rivalries we love to see.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. Another great chapter in this rivalry between these two teams. I-5 victorious.
And you know the Rosebuds, they're going to be planning for the next time they see them. And they had some great play today. Both these teams came out absolutely stunning. I-5, they've got the jammers, they've got the defense. Right now, they're an all-around package, and I just would not want to have to see them on a track.
Well, fans, hopefully you enjoyed this. This yet another fine example of why I am a huge proponent of Junior Derby. Another great bout. Fans, make sure you stick around, as we've mentioned a couple times. Up next on this very track, the Texas Firing Squad taking on the Axles of Annihilation. Make sure you stay tuned. Fans, have a good one. We're going to kick it over to the DerbyDeeds.com event desk.